Now, I'm going to, be a little audacious and say everybody in the room right now, by virtue of being here in the room right now, is in the top 5%, and many of you in the top 1% of martial arts school operators in the world. And so, if you're relying on a system that has scanned the mediocre majority and the worst of the worst, and mostly doesn't have the ability to discern one from the other, then what you're going to get it to spit out without giving it an awful lot of context is you're going to get, spit back out mediocrity. So what I have found it does really, really, really well is absorb a lot of information that I feed it, organize it, and then give it back. And then as far as things like copywriting, long form copywriting, even a chapter in a book or something like that, is if I feed it a lot of context and then I kind of beat it up 3 or 4 times to get better and better and better. So like with Claude, I've been like I said, feeding it ton of essays. So like Master Moody's, all the books that you've done, you could feed it the all the PDFs of all those essays. You could feed it all of the essays that we've done. Anything else like that you can come up with that are from the student's own words and the parents' own words about what the value is. And then you can have it create a short letter, a long letter, a video script, etc that's pulled from that context, and it does a really good job. And then what I'll do a lot of times is I'll feed, say, Gemini a ton of stuff, have it distill it into several pages of the value, and then I'll feed it over to Claude, and I'll give it directions of, you know, in my case, I tell it to write like me, but I say, you know, um, um, do this letter in the voice of Stephen Oliver using my material and using copywriters such as John Carlton, Gary Halbert, Dan Kennedy. And then oftentimes I'll feed it back through and say, give it more of a neurolinguistic programming type of persuasion context. And then by the time I'm done with 3 or 4 iterations, you could argue that I could have just sat down and written it, but by the time it's done, you've got something pretty powerful